she was far too. I like, man, if she just go to the prom or go to the dance with me, and then when I got the advantageous situation.
Oh. When is it my turn? When is it my turn? What is this, stand-up comedy? What is this?
So all I'm saying,
you're here every night.
That's right. All I'm saying is that the roles have somewhat reversed.
See that.
And so now they're trying to insert, like, oh, we don't want LeBron James. Skip Bayless, you know. You know LeBron James is still top dog. And they're taking their shots from a distance. But LeBron, be undeterred. Don't let that bother you, bro. Keep on pressing on.
By the way, just since the All-Star break, LeBron is 31% from the three-point line and 59% from the free throw line. 59%?
What is numbers?
That's getting in line.
What's his points, rebound, and assists?
They're the same as they always were because that's what he does. And by the way, last night was a classic, typical this year LeBron game where he was not, you didn't watch it, so you can't respond. I get the floor. You just,
I watched some of it.
Oh, yeah, you watched some of it. So I watched, unfortunately, all of it, and the Lakers were never really in it.
They weren't.
And LeBron really wasn't invested or committed on defense last night. He's had his moments here of late, but not last night. And yet he picked his spots. He can still drive it to the bucket the way nobody can. And he was freight training last night, and he managed to get his 29 points in 32 minutes while going 1 of 5 from the three-point line. But that's what he's doing now because he is chasing Kobe. He's chasing Kareem. He's not chasing a championship until maybe next year because he's going to need a whole lot of new help.
You're chasing a championship, but you're not in the playoffs.
All right, that's the point. 31 and 37. Back to Rick Bucher's story in the Bleacher Report. I must tell you, because this is what I know. I've known Rick Bucher for a long, long time because he has covered this league for a long, long time.
Yes.
He is connected and he is respected. He is not prone to some sort of reckless reporting and some irresponsible leap to some outlandish takeaway. That's not what this is. This is intriguing, it's enlightening, and it's insightful. And there's a lot here. There are many levels here. And I'm not saying this is the definitive end of the conversation, but it's the beginning of a conversation that has started. And it starts with the fact that he interviewed a number of owners and a number of GMs. And his takeaway was more owners would be more intrigued with LeBron because obviously, let's do the hypothetical. If you did trade for him, you can still sell LeBron James, man, because he's going to sell tickets and he's going to sell advertising for your TV network, right?
Right.
Because he is still that guy. He is still the face of the NBA. So I give you that. But if you're talking about winning a championship with LeBron going solo, we're past that prime.
What guy can win a championship right now going solo?
Well, but I'm saying he could get you to the finals 8 straight times, not with cadavers, but with lesser talent around him. Okay,
so but that was also in the Eastern Conference.
Okay, so it was very intriguing that we start with the quote from an Eastern Conference owner who says, I wouldn't gut my team for a player who isn't committed and is toward the end of his career. So committed is the operative flashpoint, right?
Yes, for me, yes,
okay.
It was.
So was LeBron really committed this year to the Lakers? Did he look a little lethargic from the start? Yeah, he did. Did he look fully invested in this Laker team? Not really. He had his moments, but it wasn't full-on crazy. Like, we watched Zion last night. Was he committed?
Yeah, but
okay, I know, I got it. But what I'm saying is there were times in the distant past when I saw LeBron go Zion on people, when he scored 48 against Detroit in that playoff game, right? To get to the finals against my Spurs and then got swept by the Spurs. But that's a whole other issue. But that LeBron was out of his mind. You know, he was just...
Yeah, he was 22.
Okay, I got it. But that's the point. They are paying him $35 million.
So is he cheating them? So in other words, he has not earned that $35 million this year.
He's not cheating him because you can still sell him, and it became the epicenter of the universe, became here, right, of the basketball universe.
You make it seem like he pulled a Chandler Parson, like he got the money and shut it down.
No, I'm not saying that, but I didn't see enough of that guy. I didn't see the best player on the planet this year.
But you got upset at Luke because Luke said, we know what LeBron can do. We're trying to see what these other guys can do when LeBron was deferring. So he wasn't taking over because we knew what he can do because there were going to be times that we're going to need these other guys. LeBron got hurt. That would have been their perfect chance to show Okay, we can do it.
And by the way, if you do trade LeBron, he has no trade clause in this 3-year deal, but he's got a trade kicker of 15%. So if you did trade for LeBron, he's making $35.6 million right now. It's 15% more. That's up to almost 42. 42. Think about that.
35, so that's another 35, so that's 3.5 million.
It's almost 42.
Yeah, plus.
Okay,
yeah, you're right.
So is LeBron James going into year 17? Let's do the hypothetical. Hypothetical. Would he be worth to you $42 million?
Yeah.
Well, maybe in marketing value, maybe in marquee value, but not in performance value. Not $42 million?
Skip.
There's still a soft cap.
Okay, let me ask you this. Name the guy that's 5th in scoring, 6th in assists, doing what he's doing. Remember, there's only been 10 in the 72-year history of the NBA that's doing what he's doing.
Doing past performance as opposed to present.
Okay, he's 27-8 right now.
Okay, but you can market the fact that he's going to pass Kobe Bryant on the all-time scoring list, and maybe eventually he'll pass Kareem. That's the old Barry Bonds A-Rod argument. Do you want them on your team when they're about to pass somebody because you can market that?
But Skip, A-Rod was hitting 10 home runs. If he was hitting 50 home runs.
I got it. But here's the deeper takeaway. To me, it's coming close to the point that the package deal of LeBron and Rich Paul are starting to be more trouble than they are worth. And there's a deeper takeaway that Jeannie Buss was so outraged just before the trade deadline, mostly at Rich Paul, for leaking word of this potential blockbuster trade half the team for Anthony Davis, that she was ready to trade LeBron, to trade out from under LeBron and Clutch Sports, and especially Rich Paul. And I got to say, Rich Paul's on a power trip now. And in some ways, I think he's starting to hurt LeBron because he's running amok occasionally. Now, Rick Bucher reports that he did call Jeannie and they sorted it out, hashed it out. Then Jeannie went up to the MIT conference and blamed the media for all the leaks, when in fact, the leaks had to start from somewhere. You thought maybe they were coming from New Orleans.
They came from, Chris said they came from both sides.
Okay, both sides. So was Rich Paul involved in that? Maybe so. So to me, it's very interesting. Jeannie Buss has a lot of her dad in her. And remember what her dad finally did with Shaq?
Yeah, he traded.
He just finally said, okay, Shaq, Kobe, Shaq, Kobe. I'm going to go with Kobe and I'm going to trade Shaq. Remember, he traded him in Miami.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay, so he will pull, like she will pull the trigger if she gets to that point.
But was Shaq playing like LeBron was?
No, well, I don't know. He was coming out of a period when he was playing better than LeBron, because that was the greatest offensive force I ever saw.
You say coming out of a period.
Yeah, but I mean, that was his sort of 3-year window. Did Shaq take care of himself like LeBron does? No.
But, hold on, Skip. Truth be told, we've given Jeannie Buss a pass because we like her. She'll talk to the media. You cleared up all this cap space to be able to get a LeBron, a KD, a Clay, a Kawhi. What have you gotten?
Okay, so we need
You didn't get him. He came to you.
Okay, we need to give this one more cycle and see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Okay? So I want to get to one quote that was deep in this story, and it's a little long, but I'm going to read it because it's the guts of this story, if you will allow this.
Go ahead.
And if we could show this quote. This is Rick Bucher writing. He says, the Western Conference GM that he's talking about speculates that more owners than executives see value in James at this point, largely because the latter, meaning the executives, have seen how their colleagues' jobs have entailed catering to James and dealing with Rich Paul, who is not popular with more than a few of the front offices. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's alienated a bunch of people in this league. Quote from the GM, even if you're solid in your job as a GM, you know that anywhere LeBron goes, you're suddenly under the gun. That's the GM says. Your only choice is to give him the keys and let him run it. And even if you didn't want that, your owner might, because he doesn't have to deal with what comes with it. So what comes with it is that package that finally alienated Pat Riley. Did he live to regret it? Yes, he did. But again, you got to give LeBron the keys because you have to give the group that he brings. It's Clutch, it's Maverick, and these are sharp young men. Right. We know that. But listen, Rich Paul will swing his weight, man.
Exactly. Yep. You have to, but here's the thing. You know what also comes along with LeBron is pressure and expectations. The only reason we talk about the Lakers.
Yep.
For as long as we have is because they have him. The only reason there were playoff expectations was because of LeBron James. So when you get LeBron James, you better believe their fans expect championships.
Okay.
That's what comes along with him.
All right. But Rich Paul comes along with it.
Okay.
Right? So you're going to have to deal with that. And at what point does it become more aggravation than it's worth?
Skip, you could be...
Do you think that Rich, along with LeBron, tried to sort of take over the franchise and say, we are going to go get Anthony Davis?
Skip, I don't really... all I can base what I talk about on is what I see. Now, if I get stuff from behind the scenes, I can go with that. I don't know how Rich Paul deals with organization to organization. But what I do know, having watched LeBron, I know what comes along with him, and those are expectations. Sure. It came with Larry, it came with Michael, it came with Magic.
Okay.
Now, it comes with him. Now, if you trade for him, I don't care if you're the Brooklyn Nets, I don't care who you are, Atlanta Hawks. If you get that guy, those fans, because of what he did, what he's done in his past, the 8 straight finals, the 14 straight years of being in the playoffs, Skip, that's what they expect. Okay. And the executives are right when you have to deal with that expectation because he's not.
But they're not just talking about expectation. The LeBron packages, he's going to kind of run the franchise, right? And I don't have any problem with that, but you better be ready to accept that. And then he better be ready to live up to that.
And what did Michael Jordan have a problem with? He's like, y'all gonna pay me these peanuts. Y'all gonna go get me some help. I'm not gonna just let y'all sit these sandbags side me and think I'm gonna go out here and play with. LeBron James said, you got me. If you think I'm gonna take less money and then come here and then y'all hoard all the money,
what's ironic about what you just said is Michael never really had the best view of what help he actually needed, which is why he hasn't been a very good general manager in Charlotte, right?
Right.
And LeBron, if it's true that he pushed Magic, go get me playmakers instead of three-point snipers, then maybe he didn't really see what he needed.
But yeah, exactly. Maybe he had a false sense of what it would actually take in the Western Conference. Okay. Because maybe, you know, Skip, he's in the Eastern Conference, and the shooters work well for him. But then now all of a sudden he goes to the Western Conference, and maybe his ideas of what he actually needs, maybe that changed. Maybe. But how many guys in year 16... Yeah, Skip, okay, let's just say for the sake of argument, he only plays another 4, he makes it to year 20. There not been very many guys that's put up this kind of season in year 16. Hell, for the argument, there haven't been very many guys that had that season, period. Year 1, year 5, year 10, let alone year 16.
I know one guy at age 34, which is LeBron's age right now, had a much better season.
He didn't average 27, 8, and 8.
I don't know. He led the league. Wait a second. He led the league in scoring and made first-team all-defense?
But, Skip, he led the league in scoring, averaging 28 points a game. There are 2, 3 guys right now averaging more than that a game.
Well, this is more of a scoring age than that because you could play defense in those days with your hands, right?
Yes. But you also understand, Skip, all the guys that's up there and scoring, what can they do? Shoot the 3. What couldn't your guy do? Because as bad as LeBron...
It's not that he couldn't do it. He didn't do it. It was not the favored shot.
If you don't mind me asking, if he didn't do it, how did they calculate that he shot 32% from the three-point line if he didn't shoot any?
Well, he just didn't take very many.
Well, it should be higher. Because normal rule of thumb, guys that take fewer normally have higher shooting percentage.
If he had played in this era, he would live in the gym in the offseason until he made 38% of those shots.
What, Skip?